Well, I did it. I replaced the feeder assembly finally. It was a lot of work, a lot of time. Um, and if I tried to record every single thing that I did, you would have 10 hours of video. That was impossible. And I accidentally deleted a lot of the videos anyway when I was transferring it to the computer. Sorry about that. But anyway, you got to be pretty mechanically inclined to try something like this. You, you can't just go in cold turkey. You got to know what you're doing to a point. You got to know how to turn a wrench, and you got to be able to figure things out for yourself. Um, but I got the highlights. I got a lot of the highlights. There's some pictures. I showed some of what order to do it in. That's important. I show about timing, and that was the major issue because I I took a lot of the pictures and videos while I was tearing it down, so I could go back and reference it. And once I lost those, I lost my references. And I got on a Facebook page called Letterpress. It's a letterpress kind of community. It's a good one. It's a really good one, and it's got some good people. Definitely check them out on Facebook if you can. And I'm going to put in a video where I had reached out to them, and they offered a lot of help. But yeah, let me go over and show you what all I did, and I'm just going to give you a recap, and then I'm going to show you the whole thing, or the highlights of it. Okay, this is the letterpress that I'm talking about. What this whole video is for. I wanted to show you this angle of it because most of the videos that you're going to see are concentrated on that one section, and it might be difficult to figure out exactly what part of the press that it is. So there we go. What I had to do is take off this entire bottom part, everything back to this. All of this had to come out. So let me go over the order which I had to take everything off. I had to remove these. I had to take this whole thing off, just lift it out. I had to take out the pole. There's some brackets down here, and I had to take out this from the pole before it could be lifted out, and this went with it. I had to take off this piece here, and then I had to take off these springs. And you see there's a hole right there. You put something in that to hold a little screwdriver or something, and then you can take off the whole spring without it shooting off anywhere. And the same goes with this. The holes are down at the bottom. There's a shaft going through. You just stick something through that hole and you're good. And then once you got the springs off, then you can take these off, and from there you can remove this piece. Then once that piece is out, then you can take out the entire feeder assembly, and you'll see that one in the next video. The main thing that held me up was I couldn't find a top dead center on this, and right there, that's what tells you that's the closest you're going to get to a top dead center, is that bearing right there. And since I lost all the videos and pictures that I took before, whenever I was taking it down, that was a big problem. So thanks again to the whole letterpress community for letting me know. That was a real good tip. So anyway, let's get started. So I found the parts to the Kluge feeder assembly that I need, and today is the day that I go get it. I get to pull it off of the press in a warehouse across town. So today's the day for that, and I'm gonna try to get as much footage as I can of me taking it off, mostly for my own reference. Okay, what I'm gonna get off of that press is this plate. See, this and this are two different things, and this has to come off, and everything on the outside of that has to come off too. You can see most of the stuff is removed, but I have to take off the cover, the pole right there. The entire feeder assembly is coming off. So that's what I'm going to do today. Wish me luck. Here we go. This one, some goodies over here. I might get this later. I got that one. Okay, this is where I'm at. Taking a lot of pieces off. This wheel's off. I need to get this off, but here's the problem: is I can't take this off until I get this out. And this, no matter how low this gets, it's not going to be low enough for me to get this piece off. So I got to get all this other stuff off first. And which brings me to this. This spring has to come out. And to do that, you put something in there to keep the whole thing from shooting off. And the same with these. All right, this is my haul for today. This is the feeder assembly that I was been looking for. I got some of these arms here. The only reason I got this is because I wanted the handle and I couldn't get it off at the time, so I just took the whole thing. That I'll shine that up and put it on mine. Got a whole bunch of these. I don't know if these are any good, if they're worth de-rusting or not. These pieces go with the that. And I got some of these. I thought that was pretty neat. Anyway, not bad for Sunday. Okay, Facebook, let's do your thing. And this is my 10x15 Kluge, and over here is the feeder assembly that was on it before. What happened with this is this shaft was pressed into this plate, and it's supposed to stay static, and these are supposed to spin on it, which they don't actually touch this. These are attached to this, and the shaft goes through. Long story, this stays still, these spin, and at some point this assembly with this fused to this, and when it turned on, it broke loose from its connection to here, and it's not round. It's not perfectly symmetrical, so it was out of round while it was spinning, and a few teeth on this had broken off, and so it's not good. I tried to fix it. I'm not a welder. I shouldn't have even tried, and so this is no longer good. Now my question is, here's the assembly that I found. This was on a 10x15 CNP that had a Kluge feeder on it, so I thought, great, gave the guy some money, pulled it off, and I brought it over here, and I put it on this one. My question is, see, here's a tracing of this cam, and here's the cam on this one. They're very different. So my question is, if anybody's got any experience doing this kind of thing, should I replace these cams with this? It's not easy to take off, but it's possible. Or can I leave this and just make the adjustments in other ways on the other parts of the feeder or the Kluge? So let me know in the comments. I think I might put a video on what the condition was of this, so in case you want to see. But yeah, do your thing, Facebook. Thanks. Okay, this is how you're supposed to take these things off with that. Not like that. you're gonna have a real hard time putting them back on if you don't put something through these holes at the bottom. By the way, this is off the old press that I took the whole system off of, and this is the same thing as this, so I'm gonna replace this. Yeah, I'm just not even gonna try to reuse this one. There's nothing wrong with it, just this already has the springs attached. I'm just gonna clean this up the way it is and put it back on. Figured out what the problem is. See, notice this isn't going up all the way. It's supposed to go up all the way and stay with that cam. And I was thinking that there's something wrong with the spring, and there really was. This piece right here, right there, had a ridge on it, and it was catching on that ridge, but it's got another problem because it's still not coming up all the way. And I know you can push those forward if you want to, but it's this right here. Not this connection, but this bar, this whole bar. Watch inside. I don't know if you can see it. It's real hard to see. There's one point where it's rubbing up against something in there. There it goes. It's rubbing up against something. So I got to get back in there and bend it or something. That's the reason. This is it. Put everything back together. The gears replaced. And she's running smooth. All this got replaced. At least fixed. Life is good, pretty much it. One thing I left out at the beginning is this bar. You saw at the very end I had issues with that bar. It was keeping these suckers from coming all the way up forward, and apparently it had been doing that for some years, and I just never noticed it. But the way that I fixed it is I turned this wheel until that hole got down there, just stuck a bar in there and bent the other bar. It was that simple, and now it works fine. So hit that like button if you like the video, and subscribe and get the notifications for the next video that comes up. Hope you have a good one. Thank you.